members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. Most of us see things in news articles, and depending on the source, we might be a bit cynical about where they come from. Well, most of us here are familiar with Mike Maloney and goldsilver.com, and actually, I enjoys a lot of Mike Maloney's presentations, especially his Hidden Secrets of Money series that he's done. It took a lot of time and money to put that together. And for the most part, I agree with the assessments therein. And but we have to think about, kind of consider the source and what the end game and what the goal is. We know that Mike Maloney writes books and he sells precious metals. Not that there's anything wrong with both those things. However, some information that is presented that could be questionable in order to hasten the sale of such precious metals and or books. And it's that kind of thing we have to be very careful about sifting out, what the motivation is behind. Which leads me to the latest kind of debate, and that is with between Mike Maloney and our very own Smaulgld here, who has challenged that notion, not just from Mike Maloney, but many other sources that talks about a gold-backed yuan without the gold. And here he has made a couple of videos about this, and the fact that China has announced no plans for a gold-backed or redeemable yuan. And so very, very interesting indeed, and how this has come together. There's a couple of stories on it, and but let's see here. But let's take a look at the original story from Jeff Clark from Gold Silver, and it talks about there's a clear supply pressures coming to the gold market. So the last thing it needed is a new source of demand. But that's exactly what it's about to get. As you'll see, it could potentially push supply into a strained predicament. If this new development catches on, it could lead to some fireworks in the gold market. The source of demand comes from China's announcement that oil exporters to China will accept yuan as payment. This is normally done in dollars. The yuan is not well established internationally yet, so as an incentive, China will offer its exporters the option to convert their yuan into gold. This will essentially result in a new source of gold demand, not one currently present in the market. So how much gold are we talking about? And then it talks about the numbers. But it's making this jump, or this assumption, that that gold could potentially be converted. And not all of that would be converted, of course. And then, of course, giving a little placeholder here to say that, they're way out. The export China could actually be friends of the U.S. and some are outright enemies, so the conversion rate would probably be greater than if it were coming from China, Canada, or Norway. And then it shows the number of imports converted to gold from the CPN group, and but nothing really to source it out. Consumed, but there's just no sources for this. It actually shows. It shows that these are the amounts converted. These are assumptions based off the prices, amount of gold potentially taken off the market by Chinese conversion. We have to be very careful here into how that plays out. When you see words like potential or assuming or some sources that may be a bit off there. And I think Smaulgld kind of puts us into perspective here. And again, he is I won't call him a gold bug, but obviously he likes gold and precious metals. And he does what his channel is about as well. But I think he provides sort of a balanced approach to these different stories and to how this occurs, to kind of keep us a reality check based off of this. And especially with the latest video that Mike Maloney posted earlier, who showed sources, Smaulgld's reply back is that the idea of a Chinese yuan oil contract convertible into gold predates the September 1 Nikkei Asian Review story. And Gold Money published an article on August 24th predating such a contract would be convertible into gold from the Shanghai Gold Exchange. and it shifted in mid-September to gold would be sourced from outside China to satisfy the oil for gold transaction when it was recognized that gold cannot be exported from the Shanghai Gold Exchange. And that's just it. There's a lot of particulars in here that make both stories sound believable. And so it's finding the right one. And that's just it. It's all, at this point, you can speculate, but until the reality hits, no one really knows what's going to happen. And so far, and really, Smaulgld is not questioning the particulars. He just wants sources, actual hard sources, rather than speculation. And I think that's a fair assessment and a fair thing to ask. And take that for any story from anyone about where things come from. I try to present, whenever I present news and information from things like especially Andrew Maguire, Jim Rickards, and others, it's consider the source. I'm always kind of skeptical to see where things lay out, because so far a lot of it hasn't come to fruition. And the Dow was up again to almost a new record high today. Gold is going down today. There's a lot of things to keep in mind when considering all this. So take it for a grain of salt, but I thought a very interesting little feud here between Mike Maloney and Smaulgld. Post your thoughts below on this particular thing and about where you get your sources and how you disseminate the news. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to y'all for watching and encourage you to please rate, comment, and subscribe.